Mr Murdoch, some time back I raised an issue with you concerning a proposal to build a train line from Yamba through to Maureen and join up to Melbourne, Brisbane and so on. I think it's Chinese investment. Have you heard any more about that?
No, Senator. We've seen some media coverage in the local press raising some concerns of the port element of it, but we've received no details of that project beyond some initial media coverage about a year ago, and I think one initial meeting that I had with some of the proponents about a year and a half ago.
Okay, I was talking to a bloke at home at Inverell, was a councillor, just didn't get re-elected, David Jones, who's pushing this program. He's raised with Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce and I on many occasions. You'd have to get the Yamba Port dredged to get ships in there.
Yes.
Before you even considered unloading containers and railing them up the Great Divide and railing down, building a Yamba big port. What process would you have to go through to dredge that port? Would it be a state application through the port? How would you go about that? So what I'm getting at is I want to find out whether there's been any application to dredge the Yamba Port, because I said to David Jones, unless you can dredge that port, you're not going to get ships in there. And that's not just a tick and flick system, I wouldn't think, to just dredge a port.
No, I mean, you'd need to do based on other port dredgings I know around the country, you have to do quite extensive hydrological work to first determine how you would dredge it and how you make it sustainable. Because as you know, you've got, depending on the...
So you'd have to do a plan, you have to put it forward to a state authority?
You'd have to do quite a significant piece of hydrological work to determine how much you had to dredge and where and how often you'd have to dredge it, depending on the silt flow out of the river and the like. But then you'd have to be applying for planning permission through the New South Wales environmental assessment process. And given the sorts of issues involved, if you have any threatened species or matters of national environmental significance, you'd also most likely have to go through a Commonwealth environmental assessment under the EPBC Act, the Commonwealth legislation.
Exactly.
Both of those processes, as you know, are quite extensive, and anything which involves dredging effectively would have to be quite a deep...
The Clarence River?
The Clarence River, you would anticipate significant environmental issues.
Can you take on notice, just check me, has there been any application to any state authorities to see if there's been an application to dredge the Yamba Port? Would that be something you'd be able to do?
Yes, I mean, we can make inquiries of the New South Wales EPA and also the Commonwealth Environment Department to see whether any proposals have been put forward.
Whether it's been the first step to kick it off.
Yep.
Thank you for your time. Wish you well.